fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today to share with you an update on all of my goals. How did I do in the month of June? I'm going to be working on my blue kit from Bella Art Diamonds, so let me zoom into where I'm going to be working, and I will be right back. So I've got my timer started so I can start laying some drills here. I am going to be talking about my goals update and how I did in the month of June. If you follow the channel, you know that every year I set diamond painting goals for myself, and then I try to update you guys once a month to kind of keep me honest so that I know I'm staying on track with my goals. And if I'm not on track, then to reevaluate. Do I need to change my goals? Do I need to do better at something? Do I need to do whatever? So my first diamond painting goal, as always, is my diamond painting hours. I am trying to work myself to 10,000 hours of mastery. I don't know if 10,000 hours is actually going to be enough for me to feel like I've mastered diamond painting. I don't consider myself an influencer or anything like that. I don't consider myself an expert. I'm just someone who enjoys the hobby, and I've tried a lot of different things to make the experience better, faster, easier, whatever for myself. So, and hopefully me explaining what works for me and what doesn't benefits some of you. Anyway, so my diamond painting hours. Did I get, I think I need something like 84 hours a month. Did I get that in June? No, but I got really close. I did 78 hours and 50 minutes in June, which was pretty close to the 84. So I'm going to pat myself on the back for that, even though it's technically not enough. I think I actually had a month this year where I didn't finish anything, so at least I'm sort of back on track, right? So if I add that 78 hours and 50 minutes to my previous total, which was 243 hours and 44 minutes, I'm now sitting at 322 hours and 34 minutes, which, given that that was June, the end of June, I should, if I want to meet my 1,000 hours for the year, be sitting at 500. So clearly I am behind. But any hours count, and I'm going to give myself some grace. I had a lot going on at the end of last year, the beginning of this year. I still have quite a bit going on. Moving countries is not for the faint of heart, let me tell you. We're still trying to figure everything out. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of grace there. If I don't make the 1,000, then I don't make it. Won't be the first year I didn't make it. That just means I need to put some extra time in, or it'll just take me longer to get to that 10,000 hours of mastery, which is fine either way. This is a hobby I enjoy, so it's all good. Okay, my second diamond painting goal is my number of finishes, and I want to finish 36 this year. That was the goal. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to make that one either. So I did manage to finish 3 things in the month of June. I finished the Rabbit and Daisies, which was one of the Art Dot ones that came in their 12 pack. Then I finished Shaman, which is one of the ones that I did for DP for Pets. And then my second kit for DP for Pets was Afternoon Tea, which was one of my Spanglers. So that one was kind of a 2-for-1 deal. Well, actually 3-for-1, because it gets counted as hours, it gets counted as a finish, and it also counts as another goal. So I finished 3 in June. So if I add that 3 to my previous 13 that I finished, that means I'm now sitting at a total of 16. 16 is not half of 36, but I'm only 2 behind. So I'm not going to feel too bad about that. Maybe some other month I'll be able to finish some smaller kits and get that number of finishes up. Maybe next year, instead of the number of finishes, I will make a goal for like square centimeters completed or something like that, because I've been toying with the idea of monitoring my stash rather than just by number of kits, by size, because I feel like I avoid the bigger kits because a smaller kit, I can complete 2 maybe smaller kits in the time it takes me to do 1 larger kit, and maybe I'm focusing too much on finishes and not enough on getting some of my bigger kits done. Also, the bigger kits, because they take me longer to do, I just, again, feel like I don't have as much content for you guys because I feel like it gets kind of boring to see me working on the same kit over and over and over. But maybe I'm wrong about that. I try to vary even the kits that I do during my whip and chats so it's not always the same one, or at least finish something so I'm working on something new. Anyway, so I'm sitting at 16 finishes. My next goal was to buy from Canadian companies. I didn't do that this month. I didn't buy from any Canadian companies. I probably should have because I just haven't been buying a lot of anything. So this month, buying from Canadian companies is 0. If I add that to my previous total of 3, that means I'm sitting at 3 still. I have a couple of places that I would like to buy from, but I always seem to miss. A couple of them are like pin places that do pin drops, and I always seem to miss those. They even sell out of their leftovers before I can get there to do them. So I haven't been doing too well on that goal, but mostly it's just because I'm not really buying a lot of anything at all. It's not that I'm not buying from Canadian companies, it's that I haven't really bought that much this year at all. So then my fourth goal is my budget. I'm doing pretty good with my budget because, like I said, I really haven't been buying anything. So I didn't spend anything in June, $0 spent, which is good because I'm trying to get my stash down, but it's really hard to resist the FOMO, you guys. I see all of these new kits coming out every week from Diamond Art Club and Oraloa and Dreamer Designs and Bella Art and lots of places that have new things coming out. And I'm like, oh, I'd like to get that one. And then I'm like, no, no, no. I need to be focused on finishing what I have before I buy anything new. So I'm working on it. So I spent 0 in June, which means if I add that to my previous total spent, which was $422.81, that's where I'm still sitting. And that means I still have, of my budget, $1,377.19 remaining. I don't know if I'm going to spend all of that. I have a feeling I won't. Even if I bought a lot at like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I just don't see that I'm going to be spending all of that, which is okay. It's okay if I come in under budget. It's not like I gave myself the budget thinking I have to spend this much. So it's all good. Then my next budget is number of Spanglers finished. I have 4 Spanglers and I set myself the goal of finishing all of them this year. I've completed 2 of them so far. I'm splitting them up into quarters. So first quarter of the year, I did Literary Dragon. Second quarter, just barely in June, I finished Afternoon Tea. So that was the second quarter. And then I have started and I'm currently working on Customized Bookshelf for the third quarter. I've got to do some planning on that one. I still haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with the books. Once I have that all planned out and figured out, graphed out, then I will finish up that one. So you guys will hopefully be seeing the finish of that one before too long. So I finished Afternoon Tea. So that's 1 done for the second quarter, which means that I add that to the previous one. So I'm sitting at 2. So I'm on track for that goal. And I should be on track at the end of this month, hopefully, fingers crossed, to get the third one done. And then the only Spangler I have left is one called Treasure Quest. And I think that one's a square. So that'll force me to do one of my squares. So that's good. So then slashing my stash is my next goal. And I finished 3 things, so I'm at -3. I didn't buy anything, so that means I'm sitting at a total of -3 for the month of June. And if I add that to my previous stash, where I'm keeping tracks of the ups and downs, I was at 0. Because last month, I think I bought as many as I finished, I think. So I was at 0. So if I add that to -3, I'm currently -3 to my stash. And I just did a stash video last weekend. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. I have some really cool things in my stash that I would absolutely love to get to. Do I know if I'm going to get to all of them anytime soon? No. I still do need to sort. I was going to sort into absolute keeps and maybes. And then someone else suggested I also sort into rounds and squares, so I had a better idea of how many rounds versus how many squares I have left, so I can see if I really do need to concentrate on squares for a while, which probably is something I need to do as well. And I also want to go through my stash and figure up, like I said, square centimeters for each kit, because obviously, see, this one is 50 by 50, so 2,500 square centimeters. But the kit that I unboxed yesterday, Little Baker, is what, 99 by 70? So it's almost 7,000 square centimeters, roughly. It's less than that, but roughly. So way bigger than this one, 3 times the size of this one. So if I was simply tracking my stash by square centimeters, maybe I'll just track them by both. I'll track, or all 3. I'll track round versus square, square centimeters, and I'll track number of kits as well. And then I can just look at all of them and see which number makes me feel better. I have a feeling it will be the square centimeter one because obviously the bigger kits that I do, the faster that number will go down, even if it takes me 3 times as long to do one of those kits as it does some of these smaller ones. Okay, and then my last goal is to do at least 3 of my Stay or Go kits. I had, I think, 7 from last year left. Some of them I've given away, donated, whatever, to other people to finish because I knew I just wasn't ever going to get to them. Not enough time, too many diamond paintings, right? The bane of every diamond painter's existence. Maybe I should also look at this as my stash right now. This was my pre-retirement stash. So once I get it down to a manageable level, then I can look at it as my post-retirement stash. I don't know. Anyway, Stay or Go kits. I didn't do any in June. So the total for that for the month is 0. I previously had done 1, which was the Midnight Warrior kit from Craftably. I think probably the next one that I'm going to try and finish from that is the Autumn Sun from Dreamer Designs. Maybe. I'll probably change my mind about that 10 times before I actually open the next one anyway. But I always, after doing a stash update video, I'm always like, oh yeah, I forgot I had this one. Oh yeah, I forgot I had this one. Oh yeah, I need to put that on a shirt. So many diamond paintings, so little time. I'm sure someone's already put it on a shirt, but I do feel like I'm making a dent though in my stash. Looking at my shelving where I keep all of my diamond paintings, it does feel like the numbers are going down. I mean, it's gone down. Well, let's see. How many have I finished this year? 16? 16. I did add to that, no, 13. I did add to that 13 because I got those 10 art dot kits. My stash is actually down further than 13, the 13 that I finished, just because, like I said, I've given away some of my kits. But it still seems to keep growing no matter what I do. So maybe it's an unattainable goal for me. I don't want to think of it that way, but maybe if I can just, I don't know. Maybe after I go through and I divide up my absolute keeps, I'll find I have more than I think that I want to absolutely keep, and that'll make me feel slightly better. Maybe I should set that as a goal. Make myself feel better about the size of my stash. Actually, I feel pretty good about trying to reduce it. It seems like a lot of people are trying to do the same thing, not necessarily just to reduce the stash to reduce it, but just to get it to a manageable level where you feel like you're in control of it rather than it being in control of you. I don't know what that number is for me. I'm going to do some counting and stuff and we'll see. Maybe I'll come back with a video about how I did about all of that and what I felt at the end and where I'm at. We'll see. If you'd like to see a video like that, leave me a comment down below. All right, that's how I did for my goals in June. Fingers crossed that hopefully July is going to be a little bit better month for me in a couple of areas. Before you leave, guys, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.